So for several years, I coached agents on CRMs, right? How to build out your CRM with detailed templates and video and automation, all this stuff, so that your referral partners were thanked really quickly. So your clients got in there, so everything was tracked, so you didn't forget anything. When you have a team, then your team members know exactly what they need to do and where everything is, which I highly recommend. Once you have a busy business, it is really important to have systems that work efficiently so that you can track everything, because you cannot keep everything in your head. And over time, people will call you and be like, hey, I have a question about what we did. You have to be able to find this information quickly, because if they can call you and you can type the phone number into a CRM and say, oh my gosh, Jamie, so awesome that you called me. How's the rental property going? As opposed to, hi, who is this? It's going to be a much better experience for you and the client. One of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do you pick a CRM? Which CRM do you pick? And when should you take that step in your mortgage business? Which CRM did I pick? Eventually, I landed on Salesforce, which has a version called Jungo, which is a built-out mortgage platform. So it comes with a lot of templates and emails and things already set up for mortgages. Why did I choose Salesforce? There's a lot of great CRMs out there. I have seen them work really well in all kinds of businesses. So there isn't really a right or a wrong choice. Where I chose Salesforce was because it's the largest CRM in the world. So I wanted to really put a lot of effort into building it out once and not have to worry about it not working. I had used other platforms in the past and they all fell short somewhere. Whereas Salesforce, being the largest CRM in the world, it has unlimited amounts of plugins and systems and things that you can just work with, as well as you don't have to worry about it getting sold to somebody else. And then all of a sudden you've got to make transitions. It's just going to stay what it is till the end of time. So that is why I chose that system. The other reason I chose it is because I had this really incredible program I'd been introduced to. So her name is Lisa Banks. She works exclusively with Canadian mortgage brokers to help them build out CRMs, specifically on the Salesforce platform for your mortgage business. That allowed me to build a lot faster, and it allowed me to get where I wanted to be sooner. And I didn't have to learn all the programming languages and stuff. I could just keep doing mortgages so I could make enough money to pay her to do it. Ultimately, I knew exactly what I wanted. We had a bunch of email templates already built out that we use. So it was really just getting her to trigger them at the right spots and have the right tasks show up so that everything went smoothly throughout the mortgage business. Why did I wait so long to build, right? So I think I was in year 3 when I started building this out. Would my mortgage business have benefited to do it a bit sooner? Probably. Would my CRM have suffered and I'd have to rebuild it and keep making changes? Absolutely. I'm a firm believer that if you haven't done a bunch of mortgages, you don't know what you want. And although you could copy my template or somebody else's template, you are going to have your own way of doing things, your own way of explaining things, your own timing of what you want to happen, depending on what types of mortgages you do. And you need to make sure that you have the ability to customize it to you so that it's going to work best for what you're going to do, but also so that you actually use it. People ask all the time, what's the best CRM? And the answer they get is always the same. It's going to be the one you're going to use. So if you've used Salesforce, HubSpot, Pipedrive, whatever in the past in a previous career, or if one of the CRMs that you're looking at works the way something you've used in the past, it's going to be less of a learning curve and you're going to be more likely to use it. My thought process on that is, whichever one you've decided to pick and marry and use, because if you do not use it, it's a waste of time. But also, I like the flexibility of future, right? So when we originally started building out our CRM, for those of you who do not know, I'm a bit of a control freak. So I didn't want anything going to a client, a realtor, a lawyer, anyone that I hadn't seen. So what we did first is we triggered them so that they would come to us. We would proofread them, double check that is what we wanted to send, and then we would send it. Once we got to a point where we're not editing those emails, we know that it's going out at the right time every time, then we would automate them. Then the step about a year later was to change a lot of those to video. So instead of having just an email go out, it would now be an email with a video like this, going through what the client should expect or what the situation was, or really just explaining it. That helped us a lot in the future, because as the business scaled and maybe I wasn't working directly with as many clients, they were still seeing my face often. So they were still able to build a bit of a relationship with me. And it is much easier on video to convey that you care about somebody than it is in an email. Email can be typed by anyone, or sometimes it feels like it's coming from a system, whereas a video is more personal. It's more relationship building. That is kind of how the progression of it worked. But again, if I had built it on day one, I'm sure I would have spent a lot more time editing it than I would have having waited until I knew exactly what I wanted to build. Does that mean that you shouldn't have a CRM when you first build your business? Probably not. Today, there's a lot of really simple out-of-the-box solutions that work really well. Even just the Trello board I used was really great for tracking. I mean, to be honest, when I started, we tracked on paper, right? Like an actual physical paper where we wrote everything out and had like these paper folders in my office. Because although I didn't start that long ago, before the pandemic, a lot was very paper driven. And so it was really important that when we switched to a CRM, that it was going to include everything that we had on those paper forms, and be able to have areas for notes for just me, for just my team, notes that went to a lender, notes that went to the client, notes that went to the referral partner. The other thing that I firmly believe in, and not everybody agrees with me, is that I really do not love one system to rule them all. Okay, one of the systems that we tried to use at one point was a origination platform that was also a CRM. Which sounds really great. Sounds super simple to have everything all in one place. But for us, it was a nightmare. Why is it a nightmare? Well, if you plan for that CRM to send the same notification every time you submit a deal, and you have to submit the deal more than once. In my case, I had a file where it was a disaster. It required a lot of exceptions. I believe we had to submit it like to 7 different lenders. And when we did that, every time the client would have gotten a notification that said, hey, we submitted your deal again. Hey, we submitted your deal again. Then there's a client now panicking, thinking what's going on. In our current setup, we use one system for communicating with lenders, right? An origination system where we submit deals and get our commitments back and stuff like that. And we use a separate system, our CRM, for communicating with our referral partners, our lawyers, and our clients. And what that allows us to do is say, if we are working on a submission, we put it in, submitted to lender. And then instead of every time we submit the deal, the client is getting a notification, instead, the client is getting the notifications we want. We're working on your deal. Hey, while you're waiting, do you want to think about booking a moving company? Hey, have you decided what lawyer are you using yet? Hey, just a reminder, we have to have this conversation about insurance. Having it operate that way for me works. I'd rather have one CRM that is the best CRM in the world, and one origination software that's the best origination software in the world. And then if you want them connected, you can have just certain things talk to each other, certain notifications, certain information zap from one to the other, so that you aren't in a situation where the client's getting notifications you don't want because of something that's happening on the origination side. And so that's the way we have always worked. I know for some people, they really want the best system that does everything. I don't think any of them do anything perfectly. So I'd rather use an excellent system for this and an excellent system for this. It's a little more work, but I think it makes a better situation for your clients and your referral partners. And again, gives you a little more control over what's happening in your business and what's going to the clients and the referral partners. If you're picking a CRM, what I suggest you do, look at a bunch, right? If you want to message me, I'm happy to show you what ours does. There's a lot of great people out there with a lot of great CRMs. There's a lot of great programmers out there who are good at all different systems. So I also encourage you to seek that out. Don't spend your time working on building an entire CRM and learning all the programming language, because at the end of the day, you don't get paid for that. You get paid for doing mortgages. So find somebody who's really, really excellent at that. If they're really good and they're really experienced, just like Lisa was, they will make your system better, because there will be times where you're asking, hey, can I do this? And that person will say, yeah, here's 3 different ways to do it. Or here's a way that I've seen it done best. Or have you thought about including this? Because I've seen a lot of brokers do this. It will make your system better. It will get you where you want to go faster. And it will also allow you to spend more time doing mortgages, which can then pay for the programmer's time, pay for the system.